When I was a little boy, I had a best friend called Scott. I thought that was the coolest name in the world. I didn't know many Scotts, apart from Scott of the Antarctic and Scotty from Star Trek. Bold men who ventured into the unknown. So I always thought Scots were adventurers or explorers. Not my Scott. He was actually quite the opposite. He was quiet and shy, small, skinny, not very brave. We were like chalk and cheese. I mean, I was big, strong, noisy, mad, up for it. I'd climb anything, race anyone, I'd try anything. I just loved the adventure. Now, I remember I was about 6 or 7 years old and I watched this musical. It was on the TV, not at the theatre. And believing that that was real life, that that was how grown-ups behaved and acted. Like if there was any problem, any trouble, or anything that was difficult, they would just burst into song. They'd make up a song on the spot and sing it. One day, not long after, me and Scott were over at the park and there was some building works going on. The builders had put a fence in front of the wall that they built. So when I saw that, I was like, I've got to climb it. It looks like a challenge, especially with all the keep out signs all over it. It was like a rag to a bull. So I dragged Scott and I was like, come on Scott, we've got to climb it, you've got to climb it. So I clambered up the fence, onto the wall, right up to the top, and then I looked down and I saw Scott at the bottom. He looked scared. He hadn't even moved his foot off the ground. Scott didn't want to climb the fence. So you never guess what I did. I burst into song. I made up a song on the spot to encourage Scott to climb up the fence. I actually remember some of it. It was something like, come on, you can do it. You've got the strength. And I believe in you. If you believe in you, you can do anything. I really don't know what came over me. But it seemed to do the trick, because then Scott started climbing up the fence and he was right next to me on the wall. I was so pleased with myself that I'd helped Scott through my singing. I was so proud. It was like I had a superpower or something. And he loved it because I was singing a song about him. I was about 9 years old and I was in the classroom. I remember the teacher made us sit on the mat, which I thought was really weird because it wasn't story time or circle time or anything like that. We were in the middle of a maths lesson. Then the headmistress walked in, Mrs. Widowfield. She never used to come to the class. She always stayed in our office. We'd see her at assembly or if we were on our way to her office if we were in trouble. But here she was, in our class. But there was something that wasn't quite right. I knew it wasn't good. I knew it was bad news. She looked so serious. And she turned to us and said, "Good morning, everyone. I want to talk to you about something bad that's happened. It's some sad news. It's about Scott Donald. I'm really sorry to have to tell you all this." And then she stopped. Her sentence stopped right there because I knew what she was going to say and I didn't want to hear it. I started wailing my head off and crying my eyes out. She took me to the office. She let me sit on those really comfy chairs that normally teachers and grown-ups sit on. I was 9 years old. Everyone knew my best friend was Scott. We were thick as thieves. So why they didn't just take me outside the classroom and talk to me on my own in private, but instead they did it right there in the classroom in front of everyone. I was still crying and I was so upset. Miss Widowfield, she looked awkward and said, "I'm sorry. I'm going to call your mum so she can come and collect you." She picked up the phone and I could hear her talking to my mum. And then she did that really strange thing that grown-ups do when they don't want kids to hear the conversation. She started to talk really quietly, not knowing that that's the moment that kids do actually listen. So I stopped crying and I stopped wailing. And I heard what happened. Scott was in the bath and his mum left him for a minute. And he had a seizure. I didn't know what that was then. He slipped into the bath and drowned. Miss Widowfield put down the phone and poured me a glass of water. She looked at me and said, "Is there anything we can do to help you or to make you happy?" I just looked at her and burst into song. I started singing about Scott and how much of a friend he was to me, and how that one time we were playing cricket and he smashed my tooth in with the bat by accident, or when we were camping in my cousin's backyard and the dog weed all over him in the night time. I sang about how much I missed him and how sad I was that he died. My mum came and I was still singing. I sang the whole way home in the car. When we got home, I was still singing. I went upstairs, I was singing and singing. I missed my dinner. I was still singing until eventually I fell asleep. I woke up in the morning with this heaviness inside me. And I've never sung another song since.